Okay. That's what we doing. Go ahead and turn me up one time. Go ahead and turn me up one time. Chris Cashavelli. Chris Cashavelli. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Hey, yo, what up? It's your boy Chris Cash, and welcome back to another episode of the Vegas Live Podcast. You know, I'm gonna do this one taker right here, where we talk about real estate, music, media, family, mindset, and everything it takes to win here in the city of sin, Las Vegas. Today's episode, I'm gonna get real personal with y'all. You know what I mean? I'm giving y'all the blueprint on how I'm building my empire right here in the City of Lights. From ground up, I'm talking about real estate, independent music, media content, and how I'm gonna be stacking it all together to create something monumental, something amazing. But I'm not just talking about me here, you know what I mean? I'm dropping game for you too. So if you're looking to move to Las Vegas, invest, or find the right neighborhood for your goals, you know, I got the neighborhood gems for families, creatives, and investors. So lock in. This one's for everybody with a dream, with a dollar and a dream, for all the builders out there that's building something great. So the question is, you know, why am I betting everything on Vegas? You gotta look at it like this, man. Vegas isn't just a choice for me right now. It's a revelation. You know, I realized early on, no one's gonna come to save us. You know, nobody is gonna hand you the keys to the city. So I had to build my own lane, right? Plant my own flag and say, Las Vegas is for sale, and I'm buying. You know, Vegas has everything. Affordable land compared to Cali or New York, right? No state income tax. That's a big thing. And massive growth in real estate, tech, entertainment. Everywhere I go, there's orange cones everywhere. They're always building. Every time I go back outside, I be inside a lot of times now, but every time I go back outside, I'm like, what is this? How did they just build this? You know, a lot of my Vegas locals can attest to that. And it's one of the few places where creators and entrepreneurs, hustlers, right, can shine without needing permission. That's one thing I definitely realized. I knew that this place was definitely for me. So I knew if I could lock in here, I could definitely build a legacy, you know. Not just money, you know, it's more than money for me now, you know what I mean? So how am I building this, right? Real estate, music, media, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk about real estate. Let's start with real estate, right? I switched it to be the first pillar, you know. I help relocation buyers because I relocated, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. I help investors. I help home sellers make smart moves in this market. Right now, there's a lot of noise, right? There's a lot of noise, but Vegas is still one of the best cities to invest in if you understand the game. You know, a lot of people don't understand it, but if you do, it's a wonderful place. That's why I'm screaming it. That's why I'm rapping about it. That's why I'm talking about it so passionately. You know what I mean? I'm building a real estate team, not just to close deals, but to create leaders. People who can use content to build their brand, generate leads, and live off their name. You know, I started out making music, and I'm still making music, and I love to make music, but you know, I gotta get it how I get it, baby. You know, real estate it just seemed like it makes sense. One thing about real estate, it showed me how to run business, right? And showed me to really handle my business, right? So I'm doing like Facebook ads, YouTube videos, campaigns, and just building systems, like customer relation systems, you know. I definitely feel that jumping into real estate, it nudged me in that direction, because, you know, you got to get the business right. You know, if you're moving to Las Vegas and if you're looking to build a career here, you know, let's go ahead and go on this journey together. No cap. Real talk. And then there's music. Music is the passion. It's my heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? I dropped a new project. Well, I'm dropping a new project. So the last couple days, I kind of shied away from social media because I was locked into the studio just creating music. And I was just tapped into the vibe and the frequency of making music. And I just made a track. Then I made another one. Then I made another one. And then I made another one. I just kept making music. It just felt really good because I was just like locked into like business stuff and doing marketing and customer relations and just doing the systems and doing paperwork and doing all that type of stuff. I just needed a release. I just needed to be able just to express myself. So I created a whole new project, and I'm gonna call it The Road to Las Vegas. I still got Las Vegas is for sale. That's still coming. I still got projects out there, The Realtor, by the Block, and I got music out there, but I want to go ahead and do something real dope, right? Real dope. So I'm letting fans make an offer to own it directly, because this is all about ownership and building, systems that make sense, and we could do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a label. You don't need. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are like caught up with the fame and just. Why are you doing it? You gotta ask yourself, why are you doing it? I just love to create art. I love the vibe. I just love the whole aspect of it, And then we're gonna move over to the next pillar, media, right? Media. That's the glue that holds everything all together. I had a revelation. I had a realization that our whole lives have been shaped by media. But in the past, we didn't have control over producing the media, right? And now we have control on producing the media. So what you think I'ma do? I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna go hard on YouTube, short form content. This podcast started a vlog. I'm a vlog documenting every step, because content is the leverage, right? I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. The new real estate really is the digital real estate. It's the attention. The attention brings opportunity. Whether you're a realtor, an artist, the story is the product. One thing I realize is I don't know what it is, but every time I'm in the studio or just whenever I'm just like locked into making videos and making content, my phone ring every single time. But if I'm making content and putting it out, my phone rings. Point blank, period. For whatever the reason it is, it's just there, alright? Alright, enough about me, man. Let's talk about the best Vegas neighborhoods for family investors and creatives. People ask, like, why are you so passionate about, helping people relocate to Las Vegas? Because that is a subject I feel confident speaking about, because I have relocated to Las Vegas and I've built a beautiful life here. That's why I scream Vegas life. That's why a lot of the themes of my music is Vegas life. Now the theme of my music is Las Vegas is for sale. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop some real gems the way I do it. You know what I mean? Like, this is just my style of how I do it, because I do it so well. Just the way I do it. All right, let's go ahead and break it down. For families, right? I take pride in being a full-time family man. That's me, Chris Cash, turned into a family man. So if you're raising kids and you want good schools, parks, and of course peace of mind, Henderson, man. Henderson's a good spot. Green Valley, but also Inspirada. Inspirada in Henderson's clean, modern, family focused, great schools. My kids actually go to school in Henderson. Yeah, I live on the southwest, but I take them all the way to Henderson. And I like the vibe over there, man. I do. Another good place, Centennial Hills, is more affordable, bigger lots, and also new homes. And here's a bonus. Here's the bonus right here. Sky Canyon. It's a new community coming up. It has family vibes, but with a modern twist, you know what I mean? And a lot of community and amenities. They're definitely building over there. And it's closer to snowboarding and the mountains over there, you know what I mean? So if you're coming from Cali or the East Coast, these spots give you the suburbs the burbs feel with room to breathe as well, all right? For my investors out there, yeah, I know you like to invest, get money, right? If you're looking for cash flow or appreciation plays, downtown Las Vegas Art District, they are always renovating and always making changes, and it's walkable, culture rich, and they have some Airbnb friendly options if you do it right. You know, it gets a little complicated with the Airbnb, but you know I'm gonna take care of you if you tap in. And North Las Vegas, you know, it's the underdog, but it's still affordable. But developers are coming in heavy, making plays up in North Las Vegas. And also Paradise and the UNLV area, great for student rentals and multifamily plays. When I'm looking for multifamily homes, a lot of them are in that Paradise Central UNLV area. You know, you want to get in where the value is rising, but the price hasn't yet caught up yet. You feel me? So we could dive in deeper, you know, but it's a whole thing to dive in deeper. But I'm just giving you a little sprinkle of what it is. And for my creatives out there, my content creators, my artists, my entrepreneurs who want to live close to the energy, you got the Art District, of course, makes sense. You know, they got bars, coffee shops, events, a lot of events going down, and the vibe is real down there at the Art District. And then Spring Valley, right? You know, that's where I have my studio at, Spring Valley. It's central, mixed community, and affordable for creatives getting started. There's also a few multiplexes there. And then you got East Vegas, right? Pockets where rent is still cheap, but you're still close to downtown and the Strip. There's a lot of different pockets in here. You gotta find the pockets. You gotta get in the pocket, right? Without draining your pockets, right? So tap in if you really want to tap in, but I'm gonna go ahead and break that down, how I break that down. But let me go ahead and keep it all the way 100% real with you. You know, I'm gonna give you my daily systems on how I stay disciplined and organized and everything like that. You know, because nothing works without discipline. Nothing works unless you put in the work. That's why I gotta wake up early, right? I didn't wake up early today. I'm gonna keep it real. Cause the whole weekend I was creating music. I had to recharge, right? But when I get into the mode, is I hit the gym, read, write, plan, you know, and just get to work, you know. But I always, at the end of the day, got a lot of work I do, but I always make sure it's about family. So I take time to do the family stuff. You know, make dinner, take time to spend time and take the kids to school and make sure everything is good at home. You know, success ain't really about motivation, man. It's about systems and discipline. It's about showing up every day, even when no one is there cheering for you, you know? Like, you just gotta go ahead and do it. And it's okay to slip up sometimes, because, you know, you can't beat yourself up, you know, whenever you slip up, because you're only human. I be putting like high expectations. I be like, I'm gonna do this, and this, you know, and then I tap out, and I go to sleep for like a while, because, you know, I gotta hibernate. But my advice is pick a city where your money can move, right? It's all about moving money, right? And stack skills, you know, not followers. You know, I know I said attention, but it's all about stacking skills. There's so many tools out there to stack your skills, bro. There's no excuses, real talk, bro. And build systems that work for you, you know, because everybody's different. So you got to build a system that works, and when it's working, go ahead and make it mash for you. Believe that, right? So if you're moving to Las Vegas, tap in with me, you know. My name is Chris Cashavelli, Chris Cash Jalem, your go-to Las Vegas realtor. And I'm building a brand that gets leads. I'm building a team. I had to really scale back and just see what I wanted to build, you know, and I got an idea I got a vision on what I want to build. You know, I'm still an artist and putting in work, because everything, you know, stems off the art. And art imitates life, and life imitates art in a way, in a sense. And I've done this plenty of times, countless times, where I said everything I wanted to do through my music, and it just happens. Manifestation that works when you put the action in. I got the blueprint, baby, you know. Check, you can scream. Yeah, scream. You can stream. I was gonna say scream. You can stream the Vegas Live podcast on all platforms. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit me up on all the socials. I'm gonna get back on the social medias. You know, I got a lot of interviews that I gotta drop for the Vegas Live podcast. You know, after this, I'm putting together the music platform. Cash and Velvet Music is back. Support the movement. Remember, Las Vegas is for sale. New project coming up that I'm putting out right now is called The Road to Las Vegas, that I made just 2 days ago. Yeah, own a piece of this art. You know, this is more than a podcast. It's a movement. Las Vegas is for sale. Vegas Live. Chris Cash. Let's go ahead and build something legendary, baby. You know what it is. I'm out. Much love.